Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Dear students, welcome back to biology online classes. Today we will learn a new chapter which is already over in the theory, that is morphology of flowering plants. In this particular chapter we will take the CET NEET session. Very important, most important topic for CET and NEET class. Okay. For CET and NEET exams, most important topic, that is morphology of flowering plants. So today's session, let me introduce or let me make you familiar with certain scientific names or botanical names of the plants which you come across your NCERT textbook or NCERT reader, as well as a brief synopsis which I feel very important. Okay, so what you have studied, just to recollect or rebrush, you studied about the root system, shoot system, leaves, the inflorescence, flower, then some of the technical terms to explain the floral formula and floral description or the plant description, floral formula, floral diagram, the different family, Fabaceae, Solanaceae, Liliaceae, the vegetative characters and the floral characters of this particular family, their economic importance. Then you also study about the fruits, seeds, structure of seeds, monocots, monocotyledonous seed and dicotyledonous seed, different examples. So students, the root. So in case of dicot as well as monocot, there is a difference in structure of root if you take a dicot root. So the dicot root, which directly arises from the radicle of the seed, correct, and that is form the main axis of the root, that is the tap root, and that is the primary root system, and from which the branches arises laterally, they are called as secondary roots, and from the secondary roots once again lateral branches arises which called as the tertiary roots. Then there is one more type of root system, that is fibrous root system, where the different roots are arising from a single point in a bunch. That is called as fibrous root system. Mustard plant dicot is example for tap root system. Okay. So in case of fibrous root system, different roots arises directly from the base of the stem. That is called as fibrous root system. We can take the examples as wheat, as in case of monocots. So the primary root is here very short-lived and it is replaced by a large number of roots which arises from the base of the stem. Okay. So usually the wheat plant, they are having fibrous root system. In some of the plants, like you take grasses, monstera, a plant, if you see the leaves of this monstera, it appears like this, like a monster, the leaf, and having also holes in the margin, so directly sunlight can enter. Okay. If the leaves are hidden within the vegetation or plant cover, it cannot reach the sunlight. So through these holes, the sunlight can enter, into the plants. So there is monstera. So this particular plant, that is monstera, you can see having elliptical leaves with the holes, mainly found in tropical America. Then grass, banyan tree. So banyan tree, that is aladamara. In these particular plants, the roots arises other than the radicals from the plant, other than the radicals. So those roots, they are called as adventitious roots. All these things you have studied, correct? Then what is the function of a root? It helps for absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Then they provide anchorage to the plant. They serves reservoir for food, and also they are having different plant growth hormones, synthesis of different plant regulators. Okay, so this you are going to study in the separate chapter, plant growth hormones. The different hormones like auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, then ethylene, abscisic acid. So these are the different hormones which are secreted by the plants. Like human beings, plants also secrete certain hormones. Okay, field mustard, scientific name, mustard or field mustard, Brassica compenstris, Brassica compenstris. Note down all the scientific names. So it belongs to family Brassicaceae. Which family? Brassicaceae. Then scientific name of banyan. So this belongs to the family Brassicaceae. Ficus bengalensis. Ficus bengalensis. Aladamara. Then grass. Grass belongs to family Poaceae. Family Poaceae. Okay. Next, there are different regions of roots. The root tip is well protected by the root cap. Then they have three regions. You already studied: region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, and region of maturation. Okay, I am not going to do the details of this. Then you also already studied some modification of the roots, like prop root. Then stilt root, prop root you have seen in case of banyan, which gives anchorage, support. Okay, the aerial root modifications, correct? Prop root. So you can see the hanging structure from the banyan tree, correct, which gives mechanical support to them. Then you have seen stilt root in case of maize, sugarcane. So scientific name of maize is Rhea maize. Then sugarcane, it is Saccharum officinarum. Saccharum officinarum. So they have what kind of root? Stilt root, the roots which arises from the base of the node, and this stilt root helps for giving mechanical support. Then you have seen the different roots like underground roots. One more aerial roots that is seen in case of Rhizophora. Then Avicennia, Rhizophora, Avicennia. These are examples for mangroves. Seen mangrove vegetation in coastal areas where the roots arises, the roots which come above the surface of the ground. It is positively geotrophic, which grows against the gravity. and they have minute pores openings. They are called as pneumatophores, which helps for respiration or breathing. So they are also called as breathing roots or respiratory roots. So they are mainly found in swampy areas, ಅಂದರೆ ಜೌಗು ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು. Rhizophora avicennia, very important, note down. Then there are underground root modifications seen in case of carrot, Daucus carota. Daucus carota is the scientific name of the carrot. So they have conical root. So what is this conical root? You might have seen the cone, right? How it is? Cone shaped. So broad at the top and tapering towards the base. So this is called as conical root of carrot. Then fusiform root. So this is called as conical root. Then you see in case of radish, Raphanus sativus. Raphanus sativus. You see fusiform root. Now what do you mean by fusiform root? See, you have seen radish, right? How it is? Tapering at both the tips, but broad at the middle portion. So this type of root is called as fusiform root. Or you see in case of beetroot, beetroot Beta vulgaris, scientific name, Beta vulgaris, that is called as napiform root. Napiform root means here it is broad at the top and suddenly tapering towards the base. So that is in case of beetroot, Beta vulgaris. Okay. Then what are the other examples you have studied? Brassica rapa, turnip. Seen turnip in Kannada it is called as navilkosu, Brassica rapa. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರೋದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ napiform root system. So note down, these are all important aspects. So Rhizophora, it is commonly called as red mangrove. What is called as red mangrove? Mangrove vegetation coastal area, swampy ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ. Example for pneumatophores. These are all underground root modifications. Note down. Then apart from that, there are some special modifications of root, that is called as clinging or hanging roots. Clinging roots or hanging roots or epiphytic roots. What do you call? Clinging or hanging roots or epiphytic. Epi means above, phytic means plants. So there are certain plants which grows on other trees like orchids. Orchids belongs to the family Orchidaceae. Orchidaceae. So orchids mainly grow on mango tree. So it is not harming the mango tree, but it is only, the mango tree only gives support to the orchids, and orchid they directly absorbs the moisture from the atmosphere. Orchids have chlorophyll and they can synthesize their own food. They are photosynthetic. So they will not depend on the mango tree for their nutrition or food supply. So they have specialized roots. Those are called as clinging roots or hanging roots. And with this they firmly attaches to the host. Host here is the mango tree. Okay, they will not harm the mango tree, thus just for the support. So they have specialized tissue that's called as velamen. With the help of this velamen tissue, they absorbs the moisture from the air. With the moisture they also take some minerals and they can synthesize their own food. So this is about the epiphytic root or clinging or hanging root, which gives mechanical support. Then there are roots that is called as climbing roots in betals. Climbing roots. Betals. Okay. You might have seen in betel tree, Veelyadele, how the stem is weak and it is asking for the support. Okay, it may be any other woody tree, so it will twine around, ಸುತ್ತಿಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸಸ್ಯದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ನ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಸುತ್ತಿಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದ ಏರಿಯಲ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಅರೈಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ನೋಡ್ಸ್ ಟ್ವೈನ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್. ಹೀಗಿರ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಸರಿಯಾ? ಈ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ನಿಂದ ಹೀಗೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ, ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಅರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ having weaker stem, so this stem always twine around a support, then that is called as the climbing root betals. So what is the scientific name of betel? Piper betel. Note down, Piper betel. Then also you can see in case of pepper, ಕರಿಮೆಣಸು, ಪೈಪರ್ ನೈಗ್ರಮ್ ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್. ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಏನು? ಪೈಪರ್ ನೈಗ್ರಮ್. ಸಚ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ climbing roots. Then you can also see special roots called as sucking roots. Sucking roots in case of root parasites plant, root parasitic plant called as Cuscuta. What is that plant name? Cuscuta. Oh, see, this Cuscuta is having root, that is and these root are host plant idre, so they have root like structure. It's called as haustoria. So they withdraw this haustoria into the host plant, if it is the host plant, and they suck the nutrition, water, minerals, food, okay, with the root like structure. They are called as haustoria. So since it cannot synthesize its own food because they don't have any leaves, so they cannot photosynthesize, so they depend upon others for their nutrition, so it is called as a parasitic plant. So Cuscuta is a very good example for parasitic plants which are having root like structure. That is called as haustoria. They withdraw this haustoria into the host and they take the nutrition from the host. That is called as the sucking root. So they have a knob like structure which comes out from this root like structure, haustoria, with which they withdraw the food, ready-made food. Then also there are certain specialized roots called as floating roots. Floating roots, say in case of aquatic plants like Jassia, then Nymphea, then Hydrilla, Nilumbo, Eichhornia, Pistia. These are the examples for aquatic plants. So if you see the roots, so these roots are having certain root pockets which is filled with air, and that will help to maintain floating or buoyancy. Buoyancy means helps for floating. So floating roots you call in aquatic plants. So students, these are some of the modifications of roots. Then you might have seen in case of asparagus plant, asparagus ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಶತಾವರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಶತಾವರಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೂಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಒಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೇ ದೀಸ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇ ಅರೈಸಸ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅದರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ರ್ಯಾಡಿಕಲ್, ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಟಿಷಿಯಸ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ fasciculated adventitious roots, because they appear in cluster in a group and they don't have particular shape. So and they arise from the part other than the radical. So that is why they are called as fasciculated roots of asparagus. So these are some of the root modifications. Next we will move to the stem. Let me erase this. So what is the difference between the stem and the root, students? Stem is usually the aerial part of the plant. These stems have nodes and internodes. Sometimes the stem may be branched. Most often the stem is branched, sometimes the stem is unbranched. So it is green when it is young, but it becomes more woody and appears brown when it grows older. So stem, which gives different branches having flowers, which later gives fruits, right? Okay, now there may be buds arises. If this is a stem, then it may arises from here, that is there is a stem and there is a branch. It may comes at the middle between the branch, two branches, that forms the axis. So a bud, if it arises from the axis, then that is called as the axillary bud. But if it is a stem, then if it is arises from the apex, okay, the apex, then it is called as the, or from the terminal region, then it is called as the terminal bud, Lee bud bandra, that is called as the terminal bud. So the bud may be axillary bud or it may be a terminal bud. Okay. So what is the main function of the stem? It absorbs the water, and along with the water it also absorbs some important minerals, and it supplies to the different parts of the plants, like leaves, to the different branches, to the flower, to the fruit, etc. Correct? So leaves are also modified to store the food, to give support, mechanical support, and also acts like a vegetative propagation. Okay, so vegetative reproduction ige kuda ee stem help ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. So stem helps for vegetative propagation, stem helps for modified to give support, storage of food, correct, and also gives protection. Now what are the different modifications of stem? If you see, stem is also modified like root. So there are aerial stem modification, then underground stem modification, and subaerial stem modifications we will study. So what is the stem modification? To perform different functions. A potato, ginger, turmeric, if you see potato, Solanum tuberosum, scientific name, Solanum tuberosum. Ginger is the scientific name is Zingiber officinale. Solanum tuberosum potato. Okay, here the stem is modified. Or if you take turmeric, Scientific name is curcuma longa. So here what is modified? Stem tuber you call. The stem is elongated and having nodes and internodes. See the potato, they are having nodes and internodes. The eyes you can see from which the buds arises, and these buds will sprout and give the new plants, and also some adventitious root starts to develop from the base. Okay, then we see in case of what is this potato stem, it is called as stem tuber in potato. Okay, then if you see in case of in case of turmeric, or it maybe in case of ginger, it is rhizome. You call it as rhizome. Shunti, arashina. So they are also having nodes and internodes from which the roots arises, adventitious roots arises. Okay, so these are example for underground stem modification. Okay, so ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಟೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬರ್ ಇದೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಜಿಂಜರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟರ್ಮರಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಸೋಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೈಸೋಮ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ I gave. Then we'll give some more examples for underground stem modification. You see there is a plant called as corm. The scientific name is Amorphophallus. Amorphophallus. It is also called as Zameen Kand in Hindi. So here the modification is called as corm, where the stem is very thick and stout, and they are having nodes and internodes, and from there the adventitious roots and the stem starts to arise and gives new plants. So Amorphophallus, it is Zameen Kand, that is called as corm. The stem is very thick and stout. In case of stem tuber, the stem is growing horizontal to the surface of the ground. Okay, similarly in case of rhizome, ginger, and in case of turmeric, you see there is a horizontal stem here also, and there are nodes and internodes. From the nodes arises the adventitious roots, and the buds will sprout and a new plant will form. Okay, so in potato you can see eye-like structure from which the buds arises. So you learnt stem tuber, you have learnt rhizome, and we have learnt about the corm. One more stem modification is there underground, that is you see in case of onion. Okay, in case of onion, a disc-like stem is present. From the base arises the adventitious roots, and scaly leaves starts to arise. These are called as scaly leaves. It start to arise from the aerial portion, which helps for storage of food. Understood? So there is a disc of flat disc that acts like a stem. Then there are adventitious roots. So flat disc shaped stem it is there. So this helps for storage of food. So example, so this modification is called as bulb. It's called as bulb. So example is onion. The scientific name of onion is Allium cepa. Or garlic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ, scientific name is Allium sativum. Allium sativum. Allium sativum. So, students, we have studied 4 different types of the underground stem modification. One is tuberous stem tuber, another one is rhizome, third one corm, and fourth one is the bulb. Similarly, the stem is also modified subaerial. What is subaerial modification of stem? Now, for example, there are underground stems which runs horizontally along the ground surface, and wherever they reach the new habit or niche, so the older one will die and the newer one will grow. Okay, so underground stem, they grow horizontally, and wherever the stem spreads, the older one will die and the newer one will form the new plants. Like see, this is the soil and they are growing horizontally to the soil surface and having nodes and internodes. So they are running like this horizontally to the soil surface, possessing nodes and internodes. From the nodal region, the roots and the aerial parts will develop. You can see this subaerial modification as a runner. So example for runner is grass. Grass belongs to family Poaceae. Okay. Then apart from the grass, they have strawberry, Fragaria ananassa. Grass, strawberry, the scientific name. Fragaria ananassa. So grass, strawberry are example for runners. Then apart from that, mint, one more example, mint, whose scientific name is mentha. Then there are centella oxalis. Centella means in common it is called as ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿ. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ಲಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಲಗ ಅಥವಾ ತಿಮರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರ ಚಟ್ನಿ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಒಂದು 15 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್, ಹೆಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, then it's also very good for nervous system. So it's having many medicinal properties, this particular kind, that is centella, commonly called as ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿ, ತಿಮರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದೇ ಲಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ದೆನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಾಲಿಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹುಳಿಸೊಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. ದೆನ್ ಸಯಾನೋಡಾನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್, ಸಯಾನೋಡಾನ್ scientific name. So all these are examples for your runner, one of the subaerial stem modification. Then there are plants like in mint, mint ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೆಂತ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. This will come to another group. This is ಒಂದು ರನ್ನರ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೋಲಾನ್ is another modification, subaerial modification of the stem. In case of jasmine, the scientific name jasminum. Then in case of mint, the scientific name mentha. ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋಲಾನ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋಲಾನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್? ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಡಿಫೈನ್? Okay, a slender lateral branch which arises from the base of the main axis and after going aerially for some time it arches downwards and touches the ground. Okay. Now, for example, ಇದೀಗ soil ಇದ್ರೆ there is a main axis which grows. Okay. Here there is a main axis from which the lateral branches arises. It grows horizontally for some times. Okay. Then arches downwards. So there is a main axis, the base of the main axis, a lateral branch will arises and after growing aerially for some time they will arches downwards. So there is a main axis, from the base branch will arises, it will go to the aerial part and arches downwards and once again it touches the ground soil from where a new bunch of roots arises and a new stem and the leaves will start to arise. Okay, so this is the main axis. So this is the soil surface. So the main axis in the lateral branch ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ, it will grow and arches downwards, touches the soil from which new plant will develop. This is called as stolon, a subaerial modification what you can see in case of jasmine and mint. And there is a third one, it is called as offset. So offset you can see in case of aquatic plants like Jassia, then Hydrilla. ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಫ್ಸೆಟ್ ಅಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ಸೆಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ subaerial modification? So there is a lateral branch arises with short internodes and nodes, okay, bearing a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots. You can see in case of aquatic plants like Pistia, Eichhornia, okay, Pistia and Eichhornia. ಹೀಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಚ್ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ನ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಈ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ನಿಂದ ರೂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅರೈಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎರೆನ್ಕೈಮಾ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎರೆನ್ಕೈಮಾ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ this erenchyma tissue which is filled with the air and that helps for maintaining the buoyancy, ಅಂದರೆ ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಎರೆನ್ಕೈಮಾ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಮೇಲುಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ದರ್ ಅರೈಸಸ್ ರೊಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಹೀಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಫ್ಸೆಟ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ aquatic plants like Jassia, Hydrilla, etc. Then Pistia, it is commonly called as water lettuce, commonly called as water lettuce. Then Eichhornia, it is commonly called as water hyacinth, note down all this. Then comes the fourth type, that is the sucker. See, sucker is just like stolon. What is the difference? Here there is a main axis which grows underneath the soil surface and from which a lateral branch arises. It grows upwards. It grows horizontally for some times, then reaches upwards, and from this the roots and the other aerial parts will start to develop. This is called as sucker. Okay. So sucker you can see in case of ಕ್ರೈಸ್ಯಾಂಥಮಮ್. ಕ್ರೈಸ್ಯಾಂಥಮಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವಂತಿಗೆ ಹೂ. ಯೂಶಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ಯಾಂಥಮಮ್, ಸೇವಂತಿಗೆ ಹೂ. ದೆನ್ ಬನಾನಾ, ಪೈನಾಪಲ್. ಬನಾನಾ ಮ್ಯೂಸಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಡಿಸಿಕಾ. ಬನಾನದು ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಏನು? ಬನಾನಾ ಮ್ಯೂಸಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಡಿಸಿಕಾ. ಮ್ಯೂಸಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಡಿಸಿಕಾ. Then also one more example is pineapple, ananasa, ananas, comosus, ananas comosus, scientific name, ananas comosus. This is comosus is the scientific name of pineapple. ಸೊ ಸಕ್ಕರೆಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ಯಾಂಥಮಮ್, ಬನಾನಾ ಮತ್ತು ಪೈನಾಪಲ್. ಸೊ 4 types of subarial modification you have studied. One is a runner, second one stolon, third one offset, and fourth one being the sucker. And apart from that, next we will study about the aerial stem modification. So which are the aerial stem modification? So what are the aerial stem modifications? Aerial stem modification, also an important aspect for the exam. So the underground stem modification, there are different stem modification you have studied, right? Like tuber, rhizome, corm, bulb. These are all helps for storage of food, and when there is a conditions are not favorable, this stored food they are using, okay, for their survival. Now similarly aerial modification, for example tendril, kelidira, tendril, balli. When the stem is very weak or very thin, then it asks for the support. It will twine around another support and it will grow. So that is called as stem tendril. Okay. So the stem tendrils which develop from the axillary bud are slender and spirally coiled and helps the plant to climb. So if it is the weak stem, there is a node, and from there is one branch, and this is the axis from which the tendril will develop. It is called as the stem tendril. Okay. So from the axillary bud, the stem tendril arises, it will twine around the support and it will grow. So the examples for this is in case of watermelon, Citrullus lantus, Citrullus lantus, pepo, pumpkin, cucurbita, pepo, scientific name of pumpkin. And also see in case of cucumber, Cucumis sativus, cucumber, Cucumis sativus, cucurbita, pepo, Cucumis sativus. These are all examples for stem tendrils. Okay, then we can give example of grapevine, Vitis vinifera, grapevine. Vitis vinifera, vinifera, scientific name of grapevine. So watermelon, Citrullus plantus. Even if you just remember the genus name, that is also sufficient. Then pumpkin, Cucurbita pepo, cucumber, Cucumis sativus, grapevine, Vitis vinifera. These are all examples for aerial stem modification, that is stem tendril. Then stem thorns. So the axillary buds may grow into woody part, woody, straight and pointed thorns, that is called as stem thorns. Stem thorns. So stem thorns commonly you see in case of stem thorns, you can see in case of plants like citrus plants. Then in case of bougainvillea, that is the paper flower. In case of citrus, lemon, etc. citrus. So they have stem thorns. Stem thorns. Note down all these points, students. Stem thorns. Okay. Next comes citrus plants, like you see, you are familiar with citrus plants, lemons, and bougainvillea, paper flower, you can see the stem thorns. Next, students, we will move to one more stem modification, that is, so these stem thorns always protect the plants from the different browsing animals or the grazing animals. Then there is phylloclade anta ide. Okay, some plants which are growing in the dry and arid regions, their stem becomes flattened, green and photosynthetic. For example, in case of Opuntia, it is a type of cactus. Opuntia, commonly called as prickly pear. So it is a type of cactus. Here the stem is flattened, green and photosynthetic, and this is called as phylloclade. What is called as phylloclade. Or sometimes it is cylindrical. It may be flattened or cylindrical. Cylindrical in case of euphorbia. Example, in case of euphorbia. Euphorbia is commonly called as asthma weed. The smell, it is an unwanted plant, it is a kalegida, it is called as weed. It may cause asthma. So the stem is modified aerially, which may be flattened, green and photosynthetic, or it may be cylindrical. Flattened in case of Opuntia, or may be cylindrical in case of euphorbia. So cacti, this group of plants, Opuntia, Mata euphorbia, belongs to a group of plants that is called as cactus. So that particular modification, the aerial modification of the stem, it is called as phylloclade. It is called as phylloclade because these plants have to reserve lot of amount of water, since they are growing in the arid region, dry conditions where the water availability is very less. In such areas they are growing. Okay. Then they contain chlorophyll and can synthesize photosynthesis. They contains chlorophyll. So they have the ability to synthesize their own food. That means they can photosynthesize. Okay, then there is one more structure. So here the plants have unlimited growth. That means is the main stem. They are having nodes and internodes. So they have unlimited growth. It can grow up to large extent, and which are having several nodes and internodes. There is one more thing, that is cladode or cladophyll. This is also important for exam, mark it as important. Cladode or cladophyll. Here the difference between phylloclade and cladode is, here in case of phylloclade there is a stem which are having unlimited growth which with the several nodes and internodes, but in case of cladode or cladophyll, the stem is having limited growth with one or two internodes. The stem is having limited growth with one or two internodes. That is example for cladode or cladophyll. So limited growth of branches with one or two internodes in length. Example is ruscus. Example for cladode is or cladophyll is plant called as ruscus. Ruscus, as well as some species of asparagus. Some species of asparagus. So important question for the exam, may not be for the board exam but for competitive exams. Differentiate between phylloclade and cladode, or other name for cladode is cladophyll. In case of phylloclade, first difference is, what is a phylloclade? First you have to write phylloclade or cladode. So it is a aerial stem modification where the stem is either flattened, as in case of Opuntia, that is prickly pear, it is a type of cactus, or it is cylindrical, as in case of Euphorbia, it is commonly called as asthma weed, it is also a type of cactus. So here the plant possesses chlorophyll, hence they can synthesize their own food. That means they have the ability of photosynthesis. And the main difference between the phylloclade and the cladode is, in phylloclade they have the main axis or the main stem grow unlimitedly and having several nodes and internodes. Okay, but in case of cladode or cladophyll, it is also just like a phylloclade only, green and photosynthetic and having stem modification, aerial stem modification. But here the stem having restricted growth, it is don't have unlimited growth and having one or two internode in length. So example for phylloclade you give Opuntia and Euphorbia, you give example for cladode or cladophyll is ruscus plant. Okay. So they have chlorophyll and they can synthesize their own food. Okay. Okay, then these are some of the examples for stem modification. So we have studied three different types of stem modification. One is underground stem modification, second one subaerial stem modification, and third one being the aerial stem modification. So underground stem modification we have studied about the stem, tuber, rhizome, corm and bulb. In subaerial modification you have studied about the runner, stolon, offset and sucker, and in aerial stem modification you have studied about the tendril, stem, thorn and phylloclade and cladode or cladophyll. So I will continue with the session of morphology of flowering plants with more concepts, and I will continue my synopsis because it's a very important topic. I have to deal with certain points and to give you certain scientific names of different plants or their botanical names. So students, take down all the important points which I have written on the board and also note down my lecture notes, and thank you for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.